What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Chuds BBQ. My name is Bradley Robinson, and today I'm going to show you how I made these. Beautiful, delicious, smoky, barky, dry rubbed, amazing Memphis style dry rub ribs on a pellet grill with our own homemade rub. Coming up. These are some ribs. Pat them dry. And what I got here is some BabyBack ribs. Picked these up at the local grocery store. And this is in fact the bony backside of the pork loin. And I'm pretty excited because it's been a really long time since I cooked up some BabyBack ribs. I think the last time was December of 2023, so we are long overdue. And that's mainly because, generally speaking, I'm more of a fan of the spare rib or the St. Louis cut rib because they're a little bit fattier, a little bit juicier, and have a little bit more flavor to them. But I do love a BabyBack rib. And truthfully speaking, I think the main reason I don't cook BabyBack ribs all that often is because I have a really hard time cutting them when they're all cooked because the bones are all curved and kind of twisted, and I tend to mess it up. So hopefully that doesn't happen again today. But taking a look at these things, they're looking pretty good. I always try to find the ones with the most fat on them so they're extra juicy and more flavorful. As far as trimming these up go, there's always a little scraggly bit on this side that I'll just zip off real quick. Probably cut off this end chunk as well, find that last bone and just kind of square it up. I'm a membrane on kind of guy, but you could take it off at this point if you wanted to. Another tiny little rib on this side that we'll take down. Rounding any corners. Flipping it over, not much to do on this side either, except for just kind of cleaning it up and squaring it up a little bit. And right here, this is looking a little tall. That looks like it's gonna dry out a bit, so we'll take that down a little as well. Got some nice marbling in there though. And again, most of this is just for presentation reasons. I'm sure you could just throw these on straight out of the package and it would work out just fine. And just like that, these are looking pretty much perfect to me. But before we go ahead and throw these on the pit, we need to make ourselves some rub. Ingredients for our rub today include some kosher salt, some black pepper, some granulated garlic, granulated onion, some brown sugar, paprika, some chili powder, dry mustard, celery seed, dried oregano, some dried thyme, and a little bit of cayenne. And get that all nice and mixed up. Beautiful, looking very nice, good amount of sweet, good amount of salt, decent amount of heat on there too. But you can always knock back that cayenne if you don't want a little bit of kick on these. And today we're doing something else I haven't done in like 4 years, which is making some Memphis style dry rub ribs. And I do love a dry rib, a little bit cleaner to eat, and there's plenty of opportunities to add more layers of flavor. And I do make them quite often, but typically I'll just grab some chud rub or some snake bite or something like that, and then finish it with a sweeter rub. But making a sweet rub from the get-go is also a great way to go about doing it. So nice, healthy coating, no binder, because these are still pretty tacky. Also, the salt and the sugar in this rub will dry out some moisture and help that rub stick, but a nice healthy coating on both sides. Flip them over. And of course, we're not gonna forget the sides, folks, because that would be a rookie move. And just like that, that is looking pretty much perfect to me. So we're gonna let these sit out for the next, I don't know, 10, 20 minutes to kind of tack up while we fire up the pit. Boop. And on the pit we go. Got this thing fired up to 225 degrees, which means it should probably be cooking more like 250 up here on the top rack. Can I fit them this way? Should I go this way or the other way? We'll try it out this way, see if it works, but we might get some hot spots in the back, but we'll just keep an eye on it. And per usual, I'm using the Smokin pecan shell pellets. Love those things. You can pick some up for yourself if you check my link in the description box of this video. But from here, it should be a pretty straightforward cook. I think we're gonna keep that pit around 225, 250 for the whole time, because every time I cook ribs on a pellet grill, they always seem to cook a lot quicker than I think. So staying a little bit on the lower and slower side should work out for us. I didn't throw a smoke tube in there, but you definitely could if you wanted to, but those pecan shell pellets do produce a lot more smoke than other pellets I've tried. And I'm also not looking for super smoky ribs. You know, I'm really trying to focus more on the flavor of the pork and the dry rub to bring all the heavy lifting as far as flavor is concerned, while still having some nice smoky flavor in the background. But probably should only take a couple hours, but I have no idea, so I'll keep you posted next time we check in on these things. This video is brought to you by Cafe Casino. Cafe Casino is a great place to kill some time whether you're waiting for a brisket to cook or your sausage to cure, because they've got a bunch of free-to-play online games. I know for me personally, whenever I'm editing a video, I like to break up the monotony by heading over to Cafe Casino and trying to build that pesky burger that I can never seem to get put together correctly. They've also got a bunch of recipes. Hey, I know that guy. Ooh, grilled brie. That sounds good. I should probably try and make that. With all the instructions and ingredients that you'd expect. So if you're looking to unwind at the end of a long day or kill some time playing some free online games, be sure to check out Cafe Casino using my link in the description box of this video. 2 hours later, pit has been holding steadily, obviously. And these ribs are looking absolutely beautiful. Good color on there, rub is adhered, starting to fat out a little bit. So now we're gonna start to spritz them. And in a lot of Memphis-style dry rub rib videos I've seen over the years, they'll bust out a vinegar-based mop sauce. But it's not really a mop sauce like you see me make on this channel all the time. It's usually just some apple cider vinegar, maybe with some pepper flakes in there or some added paprika or something like that. But to be honest, I don't feel like getting a mop dirty, so we're just gonna spritz them today. So in a little spray bottle here, I just got some straight apple cider vinegar, nothing else going in, and we're just gonna keep these guys moist over the next little bit. Help kind of cool them down so nothing gets too crispy and burns, and add a little bit of flavor. So I'll do that periodically over the next hour. I just temp these and they're rocking right around 170, 175. So there's been a bit of a development. My neighbor Carl next door came over and asked me if he could borrow a piece of oak, and I said, sure. I said, what are you cooking? He said, well, I just picked up 3 racks of BabyBacks because he's got some family in town, and he was gonna cook them on his Weber kettle. So I said, well, Carl, I just so happen to be cooking a rack of BabyBack ribs in the backyard right now. You wanna just throw them on the pit? He said, yeah, that'd be really convenient. So now there's more ribs on this pit. Didn't do the same rub as we did on our rack right here. This is just some Chud rub with a little bit of secret salt because, you know, they've got kids and I don't want to make it too spicy. And again, I don't think that rub is going to be too spicy, but on its own, it tastes pretty powerful. So just wanted to play it safe for them. Also, I don't think I made enough for another 3 racks of ribs. But that means our rack got pushed over to this side and it definitely stalled out because we are now at hour 4, 4.5 almost. And these took a long time to get up to about 185. Yeah, 184 right there. But they're feeling nice and tender, and I think it's time to pull these off and let them rest. So off the pit these come, smelling very good. Loving the color on that. Definitely darkened up, but looking nice and mahogany. Ow, that's hot. And I've been spritzing this every 30 minutes or so for the last couple of hours, and they're looking really nice. So to finish these up, I'm gonna spray them one more time with some of our apple cider vinegar, and then grab our rub and go on with another nice, healthy dusting for more flavor. Smelling really good, looking really good, and could not be much easier of a cook than this. Beautiful. Now I'm gonna flip these over, hit the bottom with a little rub, just for good measure, and wrap them up. Beautiful. And at this point, I'm gonna pop these back on that pit in that same spot for probably another 20, 30 minutes, just to come up a few more degrees, get a little closer to that 195, 200 degree mark internal to make sure they're nice and tender. And then we'll pull them off and let them rest. The foil will help trap some steam, making sure these cook a little bit quicker and help them pull back from the bones a little bit more and speed up the cooking process by a lot. And just like that, after 5 hours on the smoker, plus a good probably 30, 40 minute rest down, these things are done. And out they come, looking nice and dark, but not too dark. Got a little bit of rendered fat in there. We'll see if we can get a little bit out of there for a little, oops. Not much though. They're BabyBacks, they're pretty lean. But before I discard of this foil, we'll go ahead and hit them with some dry rub one last time. It's crazy how much it dissolves into the meat. But I kind of like this method. You know, you get the cooked rub, you get the rub that's soaked in with the wrap, and then a little freshness because, you know, this rub is gonna taste different every time it's cooked. But there you have it, some nice smoky dry rub ribs coming off the pellet grill. And now for the moment of truth where I try to cut these up. Starting from the backside. I don't know why I was complaining earlier. That was incredibly easy. Maybe I just picked a good rack. But taking a look at these, they're looking nice and juicy. Love all that seasoning on the exterior, looking nice and tender. Looking pretty good. Loving the color on that too. But really, it's all about how they taste. Boys, would you like to try some Memphis-style dry rub ribs?
Well, yeah. Absolutely, man.
Yes.
I think there's enough for all of us. We might need to make a few more racks.
Can I have this one?
Yep. Well, actually, we got your 3 racks over there.
I gotta get the middle here. Oh my good Lord. Looks great.
Brother, what is on that?
Nice clean bite, nice and tender.
Oh man, it's like falling off the bone.
But it's
delicious.
not actually falling, you know. It takes a little tug.
It's good, man.
Very flavorful.
Very, very.
A lot more complex than my typical Texas barbecue rub on there.
That was a delicious bite.
Really good.
You gotta love a good BabyBack rib, you know what I mean? They're not too fatty, they're meaty, they're bite-sized, there's no cartilage to worry about.
No.
Is that the messiest thing on the face of the earth? So that's good.
Yeah.
No.
You like that?
I'm only wearing gloves because I have to touch camera gear,
Right.
but you don't need to.
What's on your face here, bud?
No.
Thank you. That's delicious.
Carl, it's been a while since we've seen you on the channel. What have you been up to, buddy?
I don't know. Having family in town for my 40th. Like, I'm getting old, dude.
Yep.
So growing up, you know, trying to figure that out.
He's
This
turning,
is way better than prison food.
He works out of prison. That's what that means. And he's an ex-cop.
Retired cop.
I'm a retired cop.
Okay.
There's a big difference.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's delicious. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
That's good, tasty.
Love a good
I'm
barbecue
going for
rib.
this one right here. Mm-hmm. That looks like a nice little nibble.
Don't let me give you get in your way, man.
All right.
You will not get my way.
I was saying a second ago that I was worried about that rub being a little too spicy and or salty, but
No, it's great.
No.
mostly because I added it like 4 different times to the ribs
Yeah.
as they cooked. But honestly, those are quite pleasant. Very flavorful. I like that.
I'm dropping stuff everywhere.
I also like how we're all on the same wavelength here. I woke up, I said, I'm going to cook some baby back ribs. You guys woke up, said, let's cook some baby back ribs.
Yeah,
And
Do it.
here we are, eating a bunch of baby back ribs.
The universe. The universe of living next door.
It's spoken.
Dude.
That's a clean bone.
That's a tasty treat. Yeah, look at that, man. That is right off of it.
That's a meal in
Lovely.
itself.
Yep.
That's a meal in itself right there.
Luckily, there's 3 more racks to dive into.
Yeah, right? Happy birthday to me. Thank you, Bradley.
Absolutely, Carl.
It's
Happy
wonderful.
birthday, Carl.
Thank you.
Everybody in the comments wish Carl a happy birthday. I want to see it. And with this very last bite of Memphis-style dry rub rib, I think it's time for the official taste test. All right, y'all, and that is it. That is how to make some absolutely fantastic, smoky, dry rub baby back ribs on the pellet grill. I highly recommend giving this one a try. You know, that rub really was super tasty. It was complex, it was salty, it was sweet, but it didn't lean too hard in any direction, meaning it wasn't too sweet, wasn't too savory. And we added that rub several times to these ribs, making for an incredibly flavor bomb bite that still wasn't too overpowering, and a really nice change of pace from a saucy rib. Also, I think this is a perfect recipe for a pellet grill because there is such intense flavors going on. Anyone who's concerned about the smoky flavor coming out of a pellet grill, I don't think is going to notice with a recipe like this, and it's definitely something I'll be making again very soon. But all that being said, if you enjoyed this video, let me know by hitting that subscribe button. Let YouTube know by dropping a like on this video. If you do give this recipe a try for yourself, be sure to tag me on Instagram at Chuds BBQ. I'd love to see what y'all are cooking. Big shout out to all the Team Chud members. Thank you for supporting this channel and allowing me to keep making all these videos. And until the next time I see you, please go cook something outside. Peace.